Hey everybody, it's finally Friday, and I want to welcome you to my channel, The Healing Willow Tree 000. My name is Cindy. I've made a few videos. I made one yesterday, and it was like such a mess. I took it off. There was a couple comments like, "What the hell is that?" And so, Spirit's been, as I told you guys, if you've watched any of the first ones, I had a overwhelming calling from my higher power that said that I was supposed to share my story. And I was like, oh, okay, I've got a lot of stories to tell. Um, it's like I have this wonderful friend that I've met at work named Perry, and he's become so close to me, and he's like a little brother, like a son, like a soulmate. We've become very connected, and he's really helped me to understand that as young as he is, he's given me a lot of wisdom. And I think that I was ready to give up because you just feel like nothing's coming together. And he gave me a little lesson in you don't give up. So, I put my big girl pants on, but it kind of started yesterday. I started getting this real nagging feeling like you've been making videos, but you're not really talking about what you should be talking about as far as the message that I think my higher power really wants me to get out there. And so I'm going to tell you guys the story. And at some point, I may get a little emotional. I'm going to try not to. But as anybody that knows me knows, I'm a kind of a big crybaby. So bear with me. Take what you want from this, and if you don't get anything out of it, that's fine. Hopefully it's there for someone. And so here goes. So, um, when I was growing up, I never had a father, and I have a older brother. He never had a dad either, so we were just kind of like, okay, we don't have dads, and we knew little bits and pieces. For the longest time, I thought we shared the same father, and then I realized that we didn't. For the longest time, I thought my mother had been married to my father, and I found out about 12, 10 or 10, 11, something like that, 12, that they weren't married. And, this happened back in the uh, 60s. So things were different back then. And I always had questions in my mind. And there was this incident that happened when I was had to have been about 7 or 8, maybe. And we used to walk home from school because we were real close. And I was walking home. There was this house that had been being built, and as it was being built, and the man put the door up on it, it was this red door. And this house always was very significant to me. And the red door was what always stayed in my mind. Well, I was walking home from school one day, and as I was coming up to the house with the red door, there were two men standing outside talking. And as I'm walking by, I don't remember if they spoke to me. I was pretty shy, so if they did, I probably didn't speak back. But I did hear their conversation. And as I was walking past, I heard the one man say to the other man, "That's my daughter." And I was kind of like, "What?" So I trucked it on home, went upstairs, and I'm like, "Mom, who's that man that lives in the house with the red door?" And she kind of looked at me and she was like, why you want to know? And I said, well, because I just heard him tell the other man that he's my dad. And, she kind of hesitated for a minute, and then she said, yeah, that's your dad. And Give me just a second. At that point is when without even realizing it, the catalyst for how I was going to deal with relationships and people would change. Because she said to me, "Do you want to go meet him?" And I said, "No." Because even in my young 8 or 9-year-old mind, I thought, well, if he loved me, he'd come to me. And then somewhere in the mix of all that, I went on about my young life. My mom moved us to, I'm sorry about the tears. My nose is really red. But anyway, my mom moved us to New Mexico, went on with life, had a decent childhood, yeah, and then life just starts happening to you, and I didn't realize so many things until today, but when I was about 18, I told my mom, maybe 19, I told my mom that I wanted to find my dad. I said, I want to meet him. So she got a hold of my Aunt Nita and blah, blah, blah. We were getting ready to go back to Indiana for a trip. And long story short, we ended up tracking down where he was. So I called him and asked if I could meet him. He said, yeah, sure. And then the day happened. I was so nervous. And I kept thinking, what's he going to think? Is he going to like me? Is he going to, And I got there and he was pleasant. We spent about a half an hour having a conversation. He gave me great advice, never get married, which I didn't listen to. But, it was like when the conversation ended, it was kind of like, well, it was nice meeting you. Let's stay in touch. And so I went back to New Mexico and, kept living my life. And, then Father's Day came along and I thought, hey, I'll send him a Father's Day card. And so I did. He never responded. So I just kind of let it go. In my, brain, my outer brain, I guess, if you will, it just became something I didn't think about, didn't deal with. I just moved on with my life. But in my soul, in the depths of where we keep all of our pain and our anguish, and in the way that everything starts to form on how we deal with relationships, I began to get into relationships. I was married for 12 years, and then I've had, a few good relationships in between that, and then I was married again for 12, well, together almost 12 years, and then I've tried other relationships, and what I've noticed and what Spirit has really brought to my attention and what I'm trying to heal from now is that I've spent my whole life trying to prove to people that I was worthy of love. And you end up chasing people. You end up chasing relationships. You end up trying to force things. You end up trying to say, hey, look at me. I can do this. It's kind of like the little kid, you ever seen that show with Stuart? Look at me. I can do this. I can give you this. I promise I'll love you. I'll take care of you. And it's like you chasing love and trying to force people to love you. And it's not something you're doing consciously. It's a subconscious thing where, because you never got that from your father, it's like you overcompensate and you end up with so many bad habits of, even when you finally do find somebody that you love, deep down you don't really trust that they love you. All it takes is one person that you love, and you're busting your ass to try and prove to them that you love them, to say something or to do something to make you feel not worthy, and now all bets are off, because now you're in that relationship going, they don't really love me, they don't really care about me. um and I think that if I can get one message across to people about this whole thing, is to, number one, I hope it doesn't take you 50 years um to come to the realizations that I've come to recently. But the biggest thing I think I've started to learn is, number one, I can't force my love on anybody, except myself, and I've really started to flip the script a little bit and started to love myself. I've started to find ways to love myself and be with myself and be comfortable with myself, and to know that I am good enough, and I am strong enough, I'm capable enough to do anything I want to do. And I'm not saying that I don't ever want to love again, because I love someone very much right now. Um, but what I'm saying is, I've learned that I can't force myself on anyone, and I can't chase it. I can't. It's another addiction. You're chasing that dragon. If I just do this, or if I just do that, if I just show them, if I just give them enough attention, or prove to them, they'll understand, and they're going to love me just as much. And all you might get back from them is, I don't like your haircut, you know. So it's one of those things where you have to learn to, number one, forgive the people that have hurt you. Um, been about a month or so ago when all this realization started happening with my father, and I had to release that, even though I still cry about it because it's an emotional thing. It hurts my heart. Um, I forgave my father. I forgave my father for never loving me, um, for never wanting to be in my life. I don't know what his reasons really were. Maybe it was something from his childhood. Maybe it was just, sorry, life and circumstances got away. I don't know. And I'll never know, because now he's passed. So there's no reconciliation. There's no, miracle from heaven where, all of a sudden he's going to come knocking on my door and say, Cindy, I'm sorry, I love you, you know. But the gift that I can have from that is to learn to love myself first, to meet people, and of course love people, of course give to people. I'm a very loving, giving person. But fill my cup and then fill their cup, kind of a thing. And I think that so much inside me has been because I was so hurt by that in my youth, that when somebody does hurt me, or at least until recently, it was like I would hold on to that and say, see, just like my father. um and then I started realizing in the last few months that, number one, people have their path, and they have their life, and they make their mistakes just like I do. And I said it before in another video, the past is the past. And there's a lot in my past that I've done to people, and I've tried to make amends with most of them. Some people it's been good. Some people are like, fuck off, you know. Um, but the intentions are still there. And I think will continue to be there for me, as far as trying to reconcile some past wrongs that I've done. Um, and to me, it's not even about wrongs that we've done. I think most people do the best that they can with what they have. I don't think that most people intentionally try and set out to harm someone or hurt someone. But it was like I always wanted to have the answers and understand. Make me understand why you did what you did. And it's like it was almost kind of like ping. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we all have things that we do, sometimes from trauma, sometimes from not understanding, lots and lots of times from fear. And I don't need to have anything explained to me from anyone else, but I do need to have that accountability with myself. I think I've really, really become very aware of the possibility of new beginnings. And there's this thing I've been kind of learning about, that sometimes you have to close out certain things in order to rebuild or to heal and to either reconcile or to move on. And for me, it's like I've really, really worked and done my work to do the healing. And when strong love is there, even the pain is a little, the love is like, ooh yeah, and the pain's even like that too. Everything's extreme. You love so hard and you hurt so hard. But at the end of the day, I think the message that I really want to get across to people is, look at what caused you that pain from your childhood. Don't wait 50 years. Some people are lucky and they don't have childhood trauma, but those of us who do, don't wait till you're, later in life to try and figure it out. Try and understand it, try and forgive it, and try and let it go and move on, so that you can have that beautiful, happy life free of whatever it is, because you're bringing that pain into any relationship that you might want to try and have, whether it be a friendship or a love relationship, or even how you deal with your children or your, whoever. So try and learn how to recognize what it is that's causing you to have the fear or have the dysfunction or have the I'm I'm so tired of being a chaser. I'm not a chaser anymore. If the love is real and if it's as strong as my love is, it will be there and it will come, and there will be healing and there will be forgiveness and there will be, I don't give a fuck about the past. What about the future? Hello, my name is Cindy Conkle. How are you? You have beautiful eyes. It's like, I don't care anymore. All I want is to learn how to grow and become a better person, to be a better friend, a better lover. Just grow and forgive. So, long story short, I have reconciled my past with my father, and although I never got to have that relationship with him, and that's sad, I've reconciled the fact that I never got the apology. I never got the, hey, I want to be your daddy. Let me be your daddy. But it is what it is. And I refuse to allow it to control the rest of my life. I think I still got quite a few good years left. It's like I intend to fully love properly and deal with life properly and deal with friendships properly. And will I ever, make a mistake and have insecure moments? Of course I will. Um, but at the same time, I think I'm better equipped now to recognize that. So take the time, sit with yourself, deal with your emotions about certain pains, especially childhood trauma. so that you can actually have a fulfilling relationship with whoever it is you come in contact with. You know, don't hold grudges. Don't expect more from a person than they can give. Um, if they offer love to you, take what they can give and relax. Sit back and relax and see what life brings. You know, who's to say that you can't? It's just like when we're out there building that snowman and we start with that little tiny snowball and then we're rolling it and we're rolling it and we're rolling it. And the next thing you know, we got this big ass snowball to make our big ass snowman. So, you know, it's like let life unfold. Enjoy the process, but do your healing. Do your healing and be kind to each other. So, everybody have a great day. I have talked way longer than I planned to, and I've got to download this and get to work. So, again, sorry about the crybaby face, but thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share to your friends, and be blessed, everybody.